Hi everyone, Monday again, March 29th, and it's Easter, so it's coming up, Easter at least. So Lucas, my son, has vacation, which means we're out of the house we have outside of Santiago, so I decided to do this video from the forest, doing a little bit of walking. Otherwise, as you can see, spring is here, the leaves are coming out, birds are back. And we had 25, 26 degrees yesterday, which was beautiful. So we definitely have an early summer, spring coming this time. It's going to rain later this week, of course, but enjoying the good weather while we have it. Virus-wise, Spain is doing. It's okay. I think we're at the as low as we've been for the last few months, but there is some indication that it's going to go ticking a little bit up again now. So I guess we're at the bottom, waiting to start the fourth wave. Hoping the fourth wave won't be as bad and will be relatively flat. That's what we're hoping for. Numbers-wise, Spain is at 138 for 100,000, and Galicia is at 77. So Galicia is still on the way down. We actually haven't reached the bottom yet, but Spain as a country, I think, reached the bottom a few days ago. It seems like there's quite a few cases in Madrid and Barcelona that makes the average go up. So Santiago, with the nice weather and everything, we still have restrictions ongoing, although the numbers are relatively low. All the bars and restaurants need to close at 9. There's a limit of how many people can be at the tables inside and outside. So at 9, like for example last night, in the cities in the center, in Old Town, crowds of people walking, masks and everything, being very respectful. But it's funny, it's 9 o'clock and the restaurants and bar closes, and at 9:30 there was no one in the street. There was no one. Because at 10 there's curfew as well. So we have a curfew at 10. So, and people respect that. So there's no one out after 9:30, 10, there's no one out. Which kind of takes away the partying of the university, students, which I guess is too bad for them, but in general, I think it's a good thing. So a lot of people in the street yesterday, which makes to think that we're going to get a little bit of a reaction virus-wise because of that, because in a couple of weeks we'll see the results of what all those people being together leads to. But hopefully with the vaccines that people have already received, and the people being respectful with the masks, hopefully it wouldn't. I hope the fourth wave won't be as bad as the third. I don't think so. What else? So in Galicia, there's been, in other restriction-wise, we haven't been given any more freedoms, I guess. We can still not leave or enter Galicia unless you have a valid reason for doing so. We can travel as much as we want inside. There's only a few municipalities, I think 1 or 2 in the whole of Galicia, that are restricted for entry because of the high numbers there. The rest of us can move around as we like. And I mentioned the limitation with the restaurants. I think those are the things that are going to be staying there for a while now. Even though we have low numbers, they're not going to open up as they did earlier. At the end of earlier waves, they opened up way too much and it became a problem later. So hopefully they've learned, and hopefully that'll also make the fourth wave a smaller one. I saw in the paper the other day, I'm going to put up a graphic from the La Voz de Galicia. I'll put it up on the side here. It's flights starting again in May. Well, April and May, there are still, you can see it from the graphic, there are some flights that are already running. I think those are the one in yellow. And then you could see the months March, April, May, June, when new flights are starting to fly into Santiago. In the graphic, it shows the 3 airports, Santiago, Coruña, and Vigo. But the one with the most flights is, of course, the one to Santiago. So I'm not saying it's safe to come yet, but I mean it's relatively safe. But it's at least the flights are starting to come in and starting to open up, and hopefully they don't change their mind, because I know that earlier the airlines have announced that they're going to start flying again, and then the situation when they are supposed to open was not very good, and they had to postpone the plans. So even though they say they open, will start flying more in April, May, and June, you may find that when that time comes, they may have changed their mind again. But at least some intentions there, which is good. What else? Another thing that I was thinking of is that Spain is now in the state of emergency, right? We've been that. The last one is started in November. So if you remember back in November 2020, 9th of November, the national government, the president of Spain, announced a state of emergency in Spain, which give the government some special power. They're able to restrict people's movements. They're able to say where people can go and where they can't go. And that state of emergency, which is currently under effect, ends May 9th. So on May 10th, I have a feeling that it's going to be easier to move around in Spain. I don't know if it's a good idea or bad idea, because I don't think politically, I think it's going to be difficult for them to get a majority in the parliament in Madrid to renew another state of emergency. I think we're now at the end of everything, and I think it's going to be difficult for them to get a new state of emergency passed. Meaning, as of beginning of May 10th, I think it's going to be more difficult for the government to restrict people's movements in Spain, and that will probably lead to more people traveling. Hopefully, by then should be in a better position to with more vaccines and everything. I just mentioned it just for the people that are really, 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 really looking forward to walking. I know most of you are going to wait until it's safer, but I'm just mentioning it. Now, another thing that I also thought of is that I talked last week about the Portugal border and the question if they're going to open or not, because it seems the Schengen area in the EU is not closed. So you could move around between countries in Schengen. Of course, you have to have the PCR test, and you have to do quarantine if the country you're arriving to requires it. But if you're willing to do all the quarantining and doing all these tests and all that paperwork, it is possible to travel within Schengen. And of course, the border between Portugal and Galicia, because Galicia is closed right now, but the question is, can Galicia as a autonomous community stop people from another country? So I'm not sure, because right now with the state of emergency, the national government can stop people from moving within Spain, but I'm not sure what it's going to look like between borders from Portugal to Spain. I'm just saying that because I think people that have been talking about maybe walking the Portuguese might find themselves being able to if the border between Portugal and Spain is open. You may have to have some tests and everything. That's another story. I'm not sure exactly what Spain requires of travelers from Portugal. That should probably have to look that up. Anyway, what else? Okay, so I think that's about it. Hope things are good where you are, and that we can all get vaccinated soon and start to walk again. Take care. Ciao.